where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I'm back, y'all. Right before I go in and punch the clock, I want to go ahead and talk about some nonsense that's going on around the country. Try to make some sense out of it. So, if you got a second, help me do it. That's right. Log on. Make sure your notifications are turned on and all that good stuff. So this way we can stay connected. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to start logging on. I'm a little late, as you can see. But I did just get a message from YouTube letting me know that, your live stream has started. Somebody said, hello from Tennessee. That's right. Tennessee. Don't make me do it. Tennessee. I love it. And I see other people checking in. Trinidad. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I heard Trinidad is beautiful. Maybe I can get there one day. Who knows? Once they create an airplane that flies maybe 20 feet off the ground, then I'll be okay because I don't like flying. See, I'm like, does it have to go so high? Why we got to be all the way up there? Why can't we fly about 20 feet? Then this way, if something go wrong, I could jump out and tuck and roll. You know what I'm saying? Give me a better chance of survival. Yeah, you know how it is, tuck and roll. So, yeah, but who knows? I may end up down there in Trinidad as well. I need to know more about Trinidad and the culture and the climate. I know the climate is great. So, yeah, sounds like a wonderful place to visit. All right, so where else? Who else we got? Yeah, a couple more before we get still at it, as we're letting people chime in. All right, let's see. We got Colorado Springs. Yeah, Colorado Springs in the house. See, YouTube trying to hide the chat. Okay. All right. Who else? What we got? We got Wisconsin. Okay. See, I'm looking down here at my own phone. I think that's it. Okay. Somebody said, respect my brother. Oh, love, Kev. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Now, with no delay, we need to go ahead and get into this because I'm telling you, there's so much stuff going on that it's hard to even keep up with the news cycle. I got some in the queue for tomorrow. So I said, let me go ahead and get this out so we can make room for the next one. Because we don't want to get constipated on the nonsense. We don't want to get all jammed up and backed up with a whole bunch of nonsense. That kind of nonsense, you gotta let that go. You got to flush it out the system. You know what I'm saying? And soon as more nonsense come in, you got to let that go too. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is. So let's go ahead and get busy so we can get out of here. I got to do a little cardio thing, go to work. Beat my chest like a real Godzilla. Said real Godzilla. Real Godzilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here, gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. That's right, you heard me. Some gorillas in here. And there's also a Kevin's Corner store. Now I'm assuming you guys can hear me, right? Everybody can hear me? Check one, breaker 19. Okay, all right. So if you get a chance, check out Kevin's Corner store, where you can buy some merch. And that number right there on the screen, 330-974-4607, is how you can stay connected with me just in case the man bounced me off this here platform for some reason or other. Now, let's get into a couple things that I've been meaning to talk about. Boy, I tell you, I wish I had all day long, man, or all night long so we could talk about some stuff. Because, I'm telling you, tomorrow's going to even be better. So, let's get this out the way first. Because we know all the other stuff that's going on. We got Joe Biden being diagnosed with cancer. And, it's just crazy. Everything's just happening so fast. I could barely keep up. But for now, I do want to start off with these clips.
Jennifer, I'm sure that you saw that last night. I shook more hands than any human being is capable of doing. That was a long deal, and they were big people, but they were starving for love because our country didn't give them love. They gave them a fist bump. Remember?
You hear that? So Trump went overseas. He went over to the Middle East, and he was received wonderfully. He said he shook more hands. And they were so excited because, Creepy Sleepy, when he landed, all they did is gave him the fist bump. They didn't even want to touch that shriveled up, stinking little monkey paw of Creepy Sleepy. So Trump goes over there, and he has such a wonderful visit that even the fake news and liberals are in awe at how wonderful he was received and all of the stuff he did. Now, this is a president that goes places and he has one purpose, looking out for America first. But in doing so, he's also able to let all the other countries know that, hey, we're not trying to stick it to you. Y'all should be looking out for Saudi Arabia first, Syria first, wherever you're from. All of y'all should be able to look out for your country, your culture, and all of that stuff, and not have to fear that America has a motive of sabotaging y'all, replacing your leaders, doing stupid stuff like that, subverting your country, and all of that stuff. Y'all shouldn't have to worry about that. All y'all should be worried about is making money with us and making sure your country operates the best way that, you see fit. So let's continue.
Remember the fist bump in Saudi Arabia?
I remember the fist bump.
He travels all the way to Saudi Arabia in that case, and he gives them a fist bump. That's not what they want. They don't want a fist bump. They want to shake his hand.
Well, let's see the difference. You see that? You see that prince over there? He's like, my man is back. See, you can tell they look. Look. You see Musk? You see the Musk? The Musk is still on the trip. I'm loving it. So now they done went over there and they're rubbing elbows with these sheiks, and these folks got the big bucks right there. Yeah, they got the big bucks, and they love Trump. Now I thought we were disrespected. Now that Trump is back in, I thought all the other countries hated us. Now that Trump is in, they can't trust us, and it's now our own allies and all of that stuff. And we're not respected. This looks like respect. Do you hear these cheers? Do you see this? Yeah, he was about to give us the Elon. My heart goes out to you. But he didn't want to be called a Nazi or something like that. So he just, So let's continue watching all of these people from the Middle East love on Trump. Look at that. Look at that. Man, you know what? These are those moments to make me be proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. Do you see that? They stood up. Now, do you think they would have stood up for Creepy? How long do you think Creepy would have been able to talk before he fell asleep? And see, just because, he got this horrible diagnosis right now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize him, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all might have to call me an ogre or whatever. I mean, granted, you don't want to see nobody die, and, it's a horrible situation. But that doesn't discredit all of the crap that he did when he was in office and how he was received. But let's continue, though, because I'm sure the media is going to find something negative to say about this wonderful trip overseas.
We are rocking. The United States is the hottest country, with the exception of your country, I have to say, right? I'm not going to take that on.
Look at that.
No, Mohammed, I'm not going to take that on. Wouldn't that be a terrible thing if I made that full statement? But I will not do it. You're hotter. At least as long as I'm up here, you're hotter. The transfer.
Trump knows how to work the crowd. He knows how to appeal to these leaders right here. And he also knows how to get that money. Get that money out of them. That's what I'm talking about. Don't go over to talk about DEI and make sure you guys are honoring transgender rights and the LGBT community needs to. No country overseas wants to hear about that outside of the European countries. I mean, I can't think of any country outside of the European countries that would want you coming in there talking about some transgender rights and stuff, and we'll do business with you if you have a certain score for climate change and LGBT rights. Nobody wants to hear that. People want to hear stuff like this.
Formations have been unbelievably remarkable. Before our eyes, a new generation of leaders is transcending the ancient conflicts of tired divisions of the past and forging a future where the Middle East is defined by commerce, not chaos.
Commerce, not chaos. Why is everybody so hostile over there? Why is everybody fighting? Simmer down there, boy. Simmer down there, boy. Don't you want to just make some money? Why everything got to be violence? Make some money. Cut some deals. You know what? Almost every country on the planet, if dictatorship or not, if they were to just say, you know what I'm going to do? Stop acting a fool. Stop trying to threaten other countries. Stop being afraid that they're going to undermine me or kick me out and act like I got some sense. And they can make money too. Even Kim Jong-un, he could have even just, once he simmered down with the rockets and stuff like that, I'm sure over time you'll see that, hey, look, Russia, they want to make money. North Korea want to make money, South Korea, all these other countries. And if you go ahead and throw off your dictatorship aggression, then maybe people do business with you and you won't have to go and starve your people out and things like that. Everybody should just be all about looking out for their country first. And that doesn't mean threatening the rest of the world, coming up with all types of bombs and stuff, or, committing acts of terrorism all over the place. See, and that's the problem with some of the countries in the Middle East when they lead religious first. When they go religion first, that means, when you fight an enemy where they're religiously motivated and driven, those are folks that you go, we can't give you access to major mass weapons. Because when you're leading religion first, and your religion says if you go ahead and sacrifice your life or somebody else's life, then you'll go away and have X amount of virgins in the afterlife, that's concerning. Yeah, you're forsaking your basic human instinct of self-preservation because you're operating based on a belief in a higher power. So you're going, you know what? I don't mind if I die. I'm just going to run in here and it's a blessing. Allah Akbar, and then blow up some people. We don't want those type of folks in the Middle East operating. We don't want the Iranians and all of them folks doing stuff like that, because then now we got to put our foot in some of their tails. We don't want to have to put the foot up the tail. You got to go out and wash your shoe, wash your foot off, all of that mess, soak it. Make sure you get all of that mess off your foot because you had to put it up somebody's tail. Now, we don't want to have to do that. So Trump is telling them, look, y'all do y'all, we'll do us, and we can all make some money.
Where it exports technology, not terrorism, and where people of different nations, religions, and creeds are building cities together, not bombing each other out of existence.
Yeah, what's with all of that? Everybody calm down. Why are you mad, man? You look at some of these countries and it's just like, dude, do y'all ever rest? Are y'all ever not at war? I mean, at some point you got to go, you know what? Maybe we should go ahead and take this year off from war. But Trump's saying, look, man, why is everybody trying to bomb each other? Relax, simmer down. Let's make some money. Here we go.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that. Peace to the Middle East.
And it's crucial for the wider world to note this great transformation has not come from Western intervention.
What? Now he's getting up under some people's skin. I'm sure Zoros of the jungle probably is upset about hearing stuff like that. Western intervention. That's got us in a lot of trouble, as we can look back and see. I was watching a war movie called War Games, Warfare. It just came out, Warfare, where these soldiers were over in, the Middle East. And I guess it's based off of a true story. And you saw these two, I don't want to spoil it, but, some of the soldiers got critically injured. And they had to be, evacuated out of the scene and all of that stuff. And it really brought home the sacrifice of war. And they're over there in this country and the surrounding, wherever they filmed it. I don't know if they filmed it in the Middle East, but you look at that country and you say, man, these young men were over there. And as they were acting out their parts, they really were believable that they were over there for a cause. Now we look back at that whole debacle and we say so many of our young men and women died over there for nothing. In a full-blown foreign country. And some of the stuff that we did to those citizens, I didn't agree with either. Just going in, occupying their crib. We bust into a house, the whole family in there. Now we need this house real quick. We're going to set up surveillance in here. You guys be quiet, okay? And they're going, hey, wait a minute, this is our crib. No wonder they would probably be upset that we were able to do that. But at the same time, we got these soldiers over there in a country. And really, you look back and you go, now, wait, why were we over there? What did we gain? How many folks died because of that? So wait, we're no longer over there and it just went back to the way it was and we got nothing out to deal? Nothing worse than to sit back and say we paid some of the most ultimate sacrifice and you look back and we got nothing for it. And if it was up to these neocons, we would still be over there. Yeah, Trump came in and he was like, let's get us out of all of this crap. Come on home. Everybody come on to the crib. Now, if I'm a soldier, even though I might be prepared for war, I don't want to go to war. just to say I had some combat experience. No, nah, you don't want to put yourself at risk. Even in that movie, one of those soldiers was fresh and he was sitting there. You could look at his face and say, that brother's scared. He's concerned for his life. So we don't want to become a nation where we're sacrificing our young men and women for nothing. It better be dead serious for us to say we're going to put boots on the ground and go over there and start to, go on to war. Because later on, over time, history reveals whether it was nonsensical or not. And so what Trump is saying over here is, look, man, we done tried it so many years, going all over the place, trying to intervene, trying to spread what we call democracy and all of that stuff to these countries that say that's not what we want. And if it wasn't for our Democrats secretly trying to implement communism over here, yeah, we would reject it too. If another country came over here trying to occupy the U.S. and obviously is trying to convert us to communism or whatever, they would have a fight on their hands. So you can just pretty much imagine how it would be if we went to other countries talking about, all right, now we want kids over here to be able to receive transgender affirming care. And they would be going, every chance we get, we're going to attack y'all. Every chance we get, we're going to convert back to the way it is. And granted, some of these countries are operating pretty raggedy. In that case, just don't do business with them. We ain't got to go over there intervening. We ain't got to go over there saying, you know what we're going to do? We're going to step in and, just like over in North Korea, we just let him do whatever he's doing to his people, criticize him, of course, sanctions and don't do business with him. But for us to say now we feel the need to go over and get involved, no, let them work those things out. Let a revolution start over there on their own or something. But we don't need to be doing that stuff. So Trump is emphasizing that. And that is why he is very popular with countries that aren't globalists. They understand that he's not trying to spread globalism across the country.
Journalists who are flying people in beautiful planes, giving you lectures on how to live and how to govern your own affairs.
Yeah. Giving you lectures of how to live, how to govern your own affairs, just like Democrats and liberals. Y'all remember there was a montage of African leaders that were blasting the Biden administration and Kamala Harris because they were trying to spread the transgender and LGBTQ agenda across certain countries in Africa. You're talking about Africa here. They was like, we do not want that here. We do not care. If they don't want to do business with us, it does not matter because we will not allow our children to become. They were upset. They was like, don't bring that mess over here. We won't take your money. Forget it. Keep your cheese. Keep your cheese, please. So, but that was our mission. We were going over there to spread all kind of liberalism. So let's continue because Trump's talking their language.
Oh, the gleaming marvels of Riyadh and Abu Dhabi were not created by the so-called nation builders, neocons, or liberal nonprofits like those who spend trillions and trillions of dollars failing
for nothing. Trying to spread democracy. Now look what happened over there in Afghanistan. Taliban's back in business. Unbelievable. You know, all that time, all that money, all those lives we spent over there. And the sad part is I'm a patriot. And when you look at some of the fallout of that, when they, do documentaries or shows, our soldiers really, really believed in what they were doing. What was that movie about the sharpshooter, the sniper, what was it? I forget the name of it. But he was our most decorated sniper. And Bradley Cooper played him. But in that movie, he was so patriotic. He really believed that we're over here because we're trying to keep them from coming over here. We're over here trying to spread democracy. We're over here. All of these things that even I, during those times, I was like, man, we got to do what we got to do. And it's sad when you find out that a lot of those situations, your government manipulated, and manipulated our military and sacrificed so many lives. And it ended up being for that sniper. Thank you. Yep. So that was it. He was a sniper. And he was so loyal to the country and he was so patriotic. And, of course, he ended up dying over here. But I wonder if he was alive, would he look back and say, wow, was I just naive? We just straight gone now, and next you know, Taliban's right back like it never happened. It's almost like an anthill. If I don't know if you know about an anthill, but when I was a kid, every time I would find an anthill, I would mess it up just to be ornery. You know what I'm saying? You see ants, I don't even know what they do with those. It's like they build these little sand castles. They go straight up in the air. And I would walk around and say, oh, okay, so they're working hard. They're working hard. Watch this. And I would just mess it all up. Those ants wouldn't even hesitate. They don't even stop to get mad and go, man, see? They just continue working like we're going to go ahead and rebuild it like nothing ever happened. You go home, you come back outside, and that anthill's right back there. There it is. We went over there, thought we was messing things up. We left. What happened? Ants, hills just right back. Taliban came right back in like nothing happened. So all of those lives were sacrificed because we were doing nation building. Just hadn't learned how that usually works out. Granted, sometimes it might work out here or there, like maybe with, Japan. But for the most part, it doesn't usually, turn out the way you think it's going to turn out because folks want to be left alone. You don't want people from a whole nother continent intervening in your affairs. Unless we're suffering from genocide or something, But other than that, leave well enough alone. Let's continue, though.
To develop Kabul, Baghdad, so many other cities. Instead, the birth of a modern Middle East has been brought by the people of the region themselves, the people that are right here, the people that have lived here all their lives, developing your own sovereign countries.
What? So wait a minute, Trump. It's not because of all of the liberals and the neocons. It's not because of all of our deep state overthrowing and toppling the regimes. It's not because of that. It's not because we just went in, swooped in, and started occupying, telling everybody to, start letting your women do whatever they want to do, and your kids can go through all of these. And it's not because of that. It's not that none of that stuff worked. Interesting.
Pursuing your own unique visions and charting your own destinies in your own way. It's really incredible what you've done. In the end, the so-called nation builders wrecked far more nations than they built.
And how? See, wrecked far more nations than they built. And that's the truth. Those are the facts, Jack. Wrecking them. Even other countries who tried to occupy certain areas and failed. You think you start to learn. And all you got to do is just internalize it and say, man, how offended would we be if another country occupied us, came in and start talking about all right, well, it's going to be some changes here in America. For now that we have boots on the ground, we're going to make sure you guys embrace whatever. And I'm going, don't work like that. You would have to end up killing us all. Yeah, as Americans, we would go down fighting. Every opportunity we get, we will be sabotaging that military in our country. I will be doing the same thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We're so glad you're here in America. Boom. Blow up something. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to let a foreign country come over here and just turn over the way we live, try to introduce their doctrines and their ideas and stuff. But see, they're doing it anyway. They're just doing it through our raggedy behind liberal globalist politicians. See, they know they can't come over here and do it through force. So what they do, like China and all of them, they make sure they find some raggedy, greedy, stinking American politicians who's willing to sell us out with our jobs, our economic system, let drugs flood and destabilize our society with all of that crap. Yeah, go ahead, feminize our kids and do things like that, make folks hate the country. Yeah, they're doing it, but they're not doing it the way, you would think we'd get invaded. They're subverting us and getting in through our stinking raggedy leaders, which now we got somebody who's covering our country. There you go. We got somebody who said, nah, man, their days are over. We're not going to let you go ahead and manipulate our college students and get tax dollars to do it. Making them hate the country. We're not going to go ahead and fund you for all of the stupid stuff that these globalists want to see happen in the country. And the people themselves are going, we don't want that. We don't want that. But y'all was trying to shove it down our throat. So thank you, Trump. I appreciate it. I wonder what would have happened if Kamala or Creepy would have won. Let's continue hearing how he was received over there.
The interventionists were intervening in complex societies that they did not even understand themselves.
Yep. I mean, just be honest. There's no way certain countries in the Middle East is going to one day just say, you know what, we no longer have this ideology. We're good now. Some of those rivals, they go back like the Celtics and the LA who was it back in Larry Bird's days, the Celtics and the Lakers. Oh yeah, those twos, man. Woo, I used to love them battles. Yeah, they're going back like Tommy Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. There it is. These are serious rivals that you go, man, I ain't going over and getting in the middle of that. I'm not going to be out there like everybody settled down. If I see the Crips and the Bloods shooting at each other, ba-dang, da-dang, pow, 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 pa-dang, dang, dang, da-bow, bang, bang. I'm not going to run out in the middle of the street, everybody, cut it out, listen here with... No, them dudes, let them go ahead, wipe each other out. But hey, I'm not getting in the mix of that. Let's continue.
They told you how to do it, but they had no idea how to do it themselves. Peace, prosperity, and progress ultimately came not from a radical rejection of your heritage, but rather from embracing your national traditions and embracing that same heritage that you love.
And see, that right there is a message that we need to internalize. See, our success is not coming through hating the country. Do you think that we would be the greatest country on the planet if we allowed the folks, the certain generation who was being manipulated and indoctrinated to hate the country? And you think that's how we become stronger? Hating the country, despising it, not feeling like, we have some attachment here and we benefit off of our laws, our constitution, our freedoms, and things that are worthy of protecting, fighting, and dying for, that many people did. And now you get a certain part of our country that want to just overturn all of that. Forget all of the folks who died in World War I and II. Forget that mess. Now we got to look at our country as tainted and spoiled and everything and else. And we've taken indigenous land and stuff like that. All of those soldiers who fought to protect our country, they were protecting indigenous land that was stolen from them. And all of the stupid stuff that we hear come out of the modern day left. You don't become a strong nation by hating your country and forsaking your culture. You don't become a strong nation by embracing probably 30 or 40,000 illegal immigrants who have not assimilated and didn't come the right way. Yeah, that right there destabilizes a country. When politicians are out there saying these folks get the same liberties as you. And by the way, all the white folks and stuff, they're responsible for racism and stuff like that. So y'all shut your mouths. And white men are the most dangerous. That mess does not make a country strong. How are you guys going to build and become a strong nation if it's divided through hate, identity politics, racism, and all of that stuff? And I ain't talking about real racism. I'm talking about just the concept of racism being slung out there all over the place. Accusations everywhere. Yeah, folks aren't working on one accord. Don't you know what happened to the Tower of Babel? You know, Babel? Yeah, Tower, what was it? Tower of Babel. There it is. Yeah, that bad boy didn't work because folks weren't on one accord. So there was a time in our country where we weren't looking at this type of aggression towards each other. You know, Democrats and Republicans, it wasn't like this. Folks really didn't even think about it until it was voting time. But you get nasty, stinking globalists. You get these politicians who are greedy and stinking, and they come out there and they divide our country. And if we operate like that, we won't remain great for long. And I think our enemies would love to see that happen. I know they're watching going, yeah, continue to walk around saying Trump's a fascist, white nationalist, continue to walk around saying our country is sucks and it's, I know those countries that really want to see us fall are going, yeah, spread that wokeness through your whole country. Spread that mess through your society. Somebody said babbling. Yeah, babbling. All right, let's continue though, because Trump is over there. I guess he's disrespecting all these people, and he's over there being disrespected on the global stage, and they're all laughing at him and saying he's stupid, right?
So dearly.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, man. Now, wait a minute. Did I see what I thought I just saw? Now, why is the prince over there or whoever he is rocking some sandals? I mean, you can't put no... Look, my man got the sandals. He over there G'd up with all that stuff and looking hot, but he's rocking them sandals. But look at that, though. He showed up at the airport. The airport to pick up Trump with the purple stairs coming down. Where did he meet? Do you think he did that for creepy? Let's continue. Look at that. Look at that. He did the Nazi sign right there. Look at that. I guess he's a Nazi too. Y'all see that? Look at that. He must be a Nazi. Is he a Nazi too? Where's the news? Why aren't the people coming out saying that, did you see what he just did? Why are they smart enough to realize when he did this to Trump to show my heart goes out to you. But when the Elon Musk did it, he's a Nazi. Look at that. Nothing but love. Wow. They're probably sad to see Trump go. They're like, man, can't he stay a little longer? Yeah, he's like that family member everybody loves. Comes in town, funny, entertaining, energetic, dropping wisdom, staying up late talking, all that stuff. Yeah, well, let me get on out of here. Oh, come on, Uncle. No, you can't stay a couple more days. No, I gotta go. So now he's leaving. Let's see how the prince there greeted creepy sleepy. Oh, here's creepy. Wait a minute. Why isn't the prince at the airport? Why isn't he doing stuff like this to creepy? It's almost like he didn't want to touch creepy's hand. I don't want that creepiness on me. There you go. The back of the hand too. Real quick. Yeah, bump and release. You see that? He hit him with the bump and release. So there you go. That's for you, creepy.
Come on, for another hour, I could have sat there.
Look at the people that were in there listening to Trump. This lady said if he would have went on a whole nother hour, she could have sat there. Now I know our raggedy stinking Democrats and fake news is watching what went on over there in the Middle East going, God, dog it. That dude keep winning. As much as we try to make this man look evil, unwanted, a guy that is totally he's unhinged and all of that stuff. Why are all these people loving him? Why does he get received like this everywhere he goes? So now this lady is saying, I could have listened to Trump for hours. Now I bet you CNN and MSNBC, they don't like hearing people say stuff like that.
The way he did it, the tone of his voice, and the points that he chose. I mean, if you want from a point of social, you want a point from political, you want a point from business, you want a point from defense, you want a point from technology. He covered all those.
We got something for all of y'all. Yes, whatever you need, I got it. Trump was over there like, hey, we got something for this, we got something for that. Well, they didn't say that about creepy? Can you even remember what he talked about when he was like, oh, well, all right, there's chocolate chip, and gay rights, LGBT kids, and anyway, God bless you, God bless our troops, I'm out.
Just did it in such a elegant way.
Truth is that what? The man who they say is crass, and the way he speaks and the words he uses, this, and these folks are over there like, man, I was mad when it was over. See, that's when you know that you're being entertained and you've in hyper focus when time is irrelevant. You ever meet a girl or a boy when you was young and you get on that phone? Call that person up. Darn, somebody's on the line. I'll call back in a second. You get them on the horn and y'all sitting back talking. And next you know, you're like, whoa, what time is it? Man, it's what, 1:30? And I got to go to school tomorrow? All right, just a few more minutes. Time go past so fast because the conversation's good. You're vibing, you got the connection going. And when it's time to get off the phone, you're mad. You're sitting back like, man, I could have kept talking to this person for about 2 or 3 more hours, but I got to go to sleep. And then there's some cases where you say, forget it. We just going to go ahead and go to school right from this phone call. Yeah, that's when it's real good. And that's what was happening over there. When folks were saying, man, somebody said no call waiting. Yeah, y'all remember that? Boy, no call waiting. That operator, bam, 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 bam. You like, dang on it. No call waiting. But when you got that call waiting, boo, we had a ball. So anyway, these people are over here telling us they were sad to get off the phone. Here we are vibing with Trump all night. Like, Trump, no, is it time to go? Is it time to go already? Let's continue. Here we go.
He obviously cares about peace around the world. and he spent his entire, 4 or 5 months of his administration sending his emissaries around the world to create peace.
What? Trump cares about... So wait, the dictator, the war hawk Trump, I guess, the one who he wants to see all of our people slaughtered and thrown in gulags and all of this stuff, and he's going to start World War III. You're telling me these people recognize him as a peacemaker? Isn't that odd? And for those countries who, for whatever reason, they don't get it, he's like, look, I don't want to put my foot up your tail because then I got to wipe off my shoe. But I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay, for the betterment of the rest of the globe. And if he continues to make sure he have relationships with everybody else, in moments where he has to deal with one of the most rogue countries, they'll be okay with it. They'll be like, we ain't got no problem with the United States. These people or that country brought it on themselves because, I mean, we vibe with Trump. We ain't trying to mess up the blessings that come from having a good relationship with America under Trump just because we got us a rogue country like Iran who don't know how to act. Now, we tried to tell y'all, act like you got some sense. Y'all can make some cheese too. But y'all want to go ahead and continue with that nonsense. So Trump just had to do what he had to do. So now, here we go, y'all. CNN got to try to cover it. So let's see how they covered that wonderful trip.
Tonight, Donald Trump is upending decades of Republican foreign policy, and liberals are in awe of it. To start the week, Trump accepted a $400 million jet from Qatar.
Oh, boy. Here we go. To start the week, Trump supported a $400 billion. Now, got to start off with that. I mean, I can see they're going somewhere with it, guys.
He signed a $600 billion investment deal with Saudi Arabia and complimented its crown prince. He announced he was lifting all sanctions on Syria. He met with the leader of that nation who the U.S. once listed as a terrorist. And Trump welcomed talks with Iran.
Now, you know what will make a lot of these countries simmer down? Yeah, if you kind of know how to include them in civil agreements and stuff like that and say, look, we're giving you a chance to have a new slate, okay? We're giving you a chance to start off the right way, and we'll monitor that. And if you guys start acting a fool, then sanctions will come back. Sometimes you can encourage your enemy to cooperate and act right when you say, look, right now, whatever happened, the last regime is over. I'm going to give you a chance now to act like a civilized country and get involved with what we're about to do. Don't you see all the good things about to happen? You know, don't you want to be a good leader and build up Syria and make it a stable country without all the chaos and stuff? And that might sound good to them, you know, so you give them enough rope to hang themselves. And if they do, it's on them. So now she's talking about all these things he's done, but I don't think she's talking about it in a positive way.
And he announced a ceasefire with the Houthis and a hostage deal with Hamas, both without Israel. The breakneck pace of Trump's deal-making has forced Republicans to recalibrate decades of their own messaging. It's also left some former Biden officials in awe. One Biden vet told Axios, gosh, I wish I could work for an administration that could move that quickly. And
well, see, the problem is you worked for an administration that couldn't move at all because the leader was incompetent. He was mentally declining. And second in charge was worse because that person wasn't mentally declining, but was operating like she was. You can't move like that and under a regime like we witnessed the last 4 years. So yeah, envy, read it and weep. This is how business can and should be done by a country and our leader, the leader of our country. This is what we want to see. A shaker and a mover, a person who goes and gets things done. A person who goes out, brings home the bacon and fries it up in the pan. Yeah, he's going out there going, look, I'm going to go get that money. I'm going to go establish new relationships. I'm going to go spread a wonderful non-globalist message to these folks. And that's what I'm about. I'm not about going over there saying, now, if you guys don't cooperate and we're going to go ahead and do all of this. No, we don't need to do that. And at the same time, he was wise enough to send J.D. Vance over to Europe and tell them, we don't appreciate the direction that you guys are going in. We don't appreciate that. Man, I'm loving this regime right here. I wish it could last forever.
Others spoke to the implications, saying, quote, Trump has the ability to do things that politically that previous presidents did not because he has complete unquestioned authority over the Republican caucus.
Well, hey, and the only reason he has that over the government caucus, unlike the Democrats who are in disarray, and they're like a clown show, getting rid of folks like David Hogg and all of their radical crazy people like Jasmine Ratchet, and because they've allowed all those radical folks to come in and destabilize their party, which I'm cool with that. But Trump doesn't have this type of pull and connection with the Republican Party because of just them. There's still folks that would love to undermine what Trump is doing. He has that because of us. There it is. We provide that power that Trump has over the dang on Republicans because we are loyal to him because we see we got us a great leader. And when you get raggedy Republicans that aren't on board, which some of them aren't, we got to figure out how to punish some of these folks, okay? The main ones is always voting against stuff and doing crazy mess and going siding with the Democrats and stupid stuff like that. Yeah, they need a licking. And we can keep on ticking. So with that being said, though, those Republicans don't fear Trump per se. They fear us because we support Trump. If it was up to them, they would have got rid of Trump too. Many of them. But now let's continue though, because the
United States Constitution would like to have a word. That's why people care, right?
People care
because the reason that that's in the Constitution is to prevent the president of the United States from accepting things that are being perceived as bribes.
What is the national
The goal of the trip is not to get a giant gift that he can say belongs to him as president, but then.
So now you see this? That's the takeaway that Abby and the crew got. Yeah, out of all of those wonderful things, they had to find something negative. All right, what can we do? How can we make this seem bad? See, everybody loved him. Okay, they loved his message. He was receiving, he brought home all kind of billions of dollars to the country and stuff like that. What? The jet. Let's go ahead and make it seem like something nefarious took place because Trump accepted a jet. So let's hear more about this because Abby's trying to insinuate that Trump's taking gifts from these countries.
And he takes with him when he leaves the office.
Abby, you have to distance yourself from Trump derangement syndrome.
Impossible.
It's irrelevant to policy. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
what matters
Kevin,
is, why are all these AI guys...
Have you heard of the emoluments clause?
Wait. Why do you have all the leaders...
Kevin, no, seriously.
Have you heard about the emoluments clause? Yeah, she needed that dose of reality because that's exactly what everybody on that set is suffering from, except for Mr. Magnificent and, of course, Scott. I mean, y'all want to go ahead and pretend that Trump's taking gifts and all of this stuff, and he's always doing things for his own good and his own power, selfish motives. The most unselfish president in my lifetime, and they're talking about he's trying to skim down out of all the things. You're telling me Trump's trying to cop a jet? He's going to let his whole presidency be upended because he wanted to take home a jet. All of that stuff, just out in the open. I'm going to take home this jet. Or could it be something more that we now have to expose so that these dummies on the set who, instead of focusing on all the wonderful things, focusing on Trump with this jet and stuff like that. Yeah, somebody said donating his salary. Yeah, he's that greedy. And you would think if he was Scrooge McDuck, he would be like, man, I don't want to lose out on one penny of my money. But here Trump is losing money because of all the stupid stuff and the attacks from the media and on his brand. But let's continue hearing about this jet that he's taken.
It's a serious question. Have you heard of the emoluments clause?
On Qatar, has Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet? And how can the American people be so sure that they will not in the future?
Well, I think...
Oh, here we go. For that jet, she should have been asking, did China ask for anything in exchange from that $1.5 billion deal that they allowed Creepy and a crackhead to facilitate? What about Ukraine and all of that money? All of that stuff. There's so many corrupt Democrat politicians. And you got to wonder, did anybody ask for something for that? So now they want to know that they asked for anything in return because of the jet.
I think what happens with the plane is that, we're very disappointed that it's taken Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One. We have an Air Force One that's 40 years old. And if you take a look at that compared to the new plane of the equivalent, stature at the time, it's not even the same ballgame. You look at some of the Arab countries, and the planes they have parked alongside of the United States of America plane. It's like from a different planet.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave?
Now here it is. What do you see? See, always trying to muster up some controversy, stir up some trouble, insert the stinking thinking of, hey, yeah, is he trying to take advantage of his position? Why did he take that jet? So what do you think about? Now, nobody was thinking about this, and they try to pretend that these are people who just came up with these thoughts, and I'm just echoing what the people are wondering. Yeah, I'm basing this off of all of the citizens out there that's going, we demand to know what Trump is going to do with that jet. Or are we simply coming up with these questions and pretending that there's people out there that really want to know about this? There's not. Nobody would even know about the jet, but yet these folks are coming out making it seem like there's something going on with the jet. They're inserting their own sabotage type questions, so they can get him, instead of just saying, you know what, take the jet, okay? We know you're not trying to go home and use the jet personally and all that stuff, but we're going to go ahead and make our people think that, and we're going to ask a stupid question and pretend that the people want to know.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
You're ABC fake news, right?
Why not?
Only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
See, Trump got to talk to her like a dummy that she is. Yeah. What would be the smart thing? To go ahead and say, let's go ahead and pay for the jet. Then they say, why is he buying a jet for $400 million? That's not a good use of taxpayers' dollars. He's spending money on this jet that they have a problem with that, see? So we know that they're ABC fake news. We know that whether Trump would take the jet and it's free, which that to me is a smart leader. This is that moment like he had with Hillary Clinton in a debate where she talked about he didn't pay all these taxes that he could have paid. And he was taking all these tax loops. And he stunned her by saying, absolutely I did. I mean, I'm not stupid. I took advantage of all these tax, loops, just like you and all your friends do. Yeah, all the people if you got a problem with it, change the tax codes. But I'm not dumb. I'm not going to sit back and give money away. So yeah, he said, look, what do you want me to do? You rather us buy the jet, pay for the jet, but they gave it to us. So how about we do the smart thing and take it?
There was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
You hear that? Now he had to go ahead and give her a life lesson right there. Don't be stupid. Why are you asking a dumb question like that? Yeah, when somebody gives you an opportunity, take it. No, it's okay. I'm good. Next year, you're like, I should have took it. I should have taken it. So now he goes back to writing whatever he was writing. But folks just don't learn. See, they want to know more about this jet instead of the trip itself and all the wonderful things that came out of it.
Somebody may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not receive
It's not a gift to me. It's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better, because you've been embarrassed enough, and so has your network. Your network is a disaster. ABC is a disaster.
Given that.
Oh, my. See, now they be bringing that on themselves. And those are those whoopings that you watch and you say, that kid brought that all the way on himself. There it is. Just wouldn't leave well enough alone. Finally, the parent gets tired and go to work on them. Yeah, see, so now they're there. What you think about? He said it's a gift to the department. Okay, but just in case they didn't hear that message loud and clear, look who's getting hold of him.
You noted he is a successful businessman. Do you know if the president has any plans to meet with any of the folks involved with any of the family businesses over there, or see any of the sites that are going to be neutral?
Now see, this is what I mean. Our press, man, is so non-American. It's ridiculous. Our president can't go overseas and establish business deals without them trying to pretend that he's over there trying to negotiate business deals on the side for himself. He's not a Democrat. He's not over there trying to secure a $1.5 billion deal for himself. Yeah, he's not over there trying to get his son on the board of some country, some corrupt business that he don't know nothing about. He's not doing that. So Trump goes overseas to do business, and as he's embraced by everybody else, our stinking homegrown media is over here trying to insert some type of evil motive. Is he over there trying to establish business deals? Why didn't they ever ask that when Creepy would go overseas? No other president that would go overseas would receive this negative coverage and all of these horrific narratives being thrown out there, unwarranted, no evidence whatsoever. But we want to create some suspicion about when our president goes overseas. Now, all of us looking at that trip going, great job, Trump. It was successful. Everybody loved you. You brought home great deals. But what are these people doing? What do you think about maybe what people, be thinking maybe he might went over there and start maybe making the deals? Because he a businessman. They stink, man. This whole press situation stinks. So let's continue because now she's about to get it.
Not to my knowledge, and let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit. He left a life of luxury and a life of running a very successful real estate empire for public service, not just once, but twice. And again, the American public reelected him back to this White House because they trust he acts in the best interest of our country and putting the American public first. This is a president who has actually lost money for being president of the United States. I don't remember these same type of questions being asked of my predecessor about a career politician who was clearly profiting off of this office. That is not what President Trump does, and this White House holds ourselves to the highest of ethical standards.
Man, boy, I'm telling you, she's working on becoming the best that ever did it. Katie McEnany was great, but love it is she's coming up. She's coming up. So then she went ahead and beat him to the punch. Let's just stop with the foreplay. Let's not beat around the bush here. Let's not stand on ceremony. We know what you're asking. We know what you're up to. We know what you're trying to insinuate. So I'm gonna beat you to it. He didn't go over there to try to profit. He's looking out for America first. He's made more sacrifices than any president I could think of, with the exception of some of them that got killed, maybe like, Lincoln and people like that. But man, when it comes down to Trump, this guy has sacrificed so much time, effort, resources, money, his reputation, all of it, putting it on the line, only to what? Get in office and try to go out there overseas and make some deals just to make a little more billions than he already got. These people sound ridiculous, man. I mean, it's irrational to even think that Trump is in it for himself based on what he had to go through just to become president again. The first time and the second time. And you're telling me he's doing all of that so he could, negotiate a couple back, door deals with some the Arabians and things like that. They sound like fools. And that's why Trump had to go ahead and embarrass them. And then she came right after that, got tagged in, and had to embarrass him a little more. Speaking of embarrassment, guys, let's get now down to the Homer Simpson head here. Tampon Tim is back. Somebody done went ahead and drugged this raggedy dude in to speak at a graduation. I don't understand why colleges bring Democrats to speak at their, the campuses for graduations. They don't come and give graduation speeches. They come and push propaganda and lies and political messages and things like that. So it must be a liberal behind school that would allow this pubblehead dude to come and speak. You gotta know that they're gonna come talking about the racism in our country is under attack, and instead of saying, hey, let's talk about positive things. Let's talk about things that uplift, the way these students look at our country. Let's talk about your future. Let's talk about how you overcame all of this stuff to get here and how blessed you are to be a graduate and a citizen of America. No, he comes to spread this. So whatever college this is, it's trash because they bring these folks in, and I'm going, they're not coming in to encourage the college students. You're coming in to attack the president.
Donald Trump's modern day Gestapo is...
Couldn't even say it. Gestapo, man. Yeah, Donald Trump's modern day Gestapos. All right, so let's hear about these Gestapos.
Up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans wearing masks.
Now you hear these lies. See? This is what you get.
Not what President Trump does. And this White House.
This is what you get when you invite a Democrat. Listen to these lies this man is spreading.
House holds ourselves to the highest of ethical standards.
Donald Trump's modern day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye. Just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared.
That's why I despise Democrats, man. I despise them. I mean, they are such a cancer to our society. I'm talking about the Democrat politicians. They're such a cancer to our society. Straight up, just complete lies. Yeah, notice he did not insert the fact that he is grabbing MS-13 gang members and others. He's grabbing illegal immigrants. This man just straight came and told all of these young, stupid, impressionable students that Donald Trump is doing something that you would see, Hitler do or something like that.
Highest of ethical standards.
Donald Trump's modern day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons.
Look at all the context he's leaving out. He don't even tell them who he's talking about. He doesn't even say immigrants, legal immigrants. He says he's scooping people up off the street. Yeah, that's what he's doing. I mean, you take this big, fat, dumb, homer head dude for face value. None of what he just said makes sense. Now, if I'm a dumb student, I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. So Donald Trump is just riding around randomly, got people, scooping regular people off the street for nothing. Nobody stops to say, whoa, buddy, what did these people do? Who are these people? Why are they going ahead and scooping them up? What's going on with that? But you want us to think that Trump just got his Gestapo that's running around grabbing people and then sending them to where?
No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one
Torture
goodbye.
chambers.
Just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared. To be clear, there's no way for us to know whether they were actually criminals or not, because they refused to give them a trial.
No, there's no way to know whether they were criminals or no. There's no way to know that they were illegal or not. We know they were illegal. That's why they got scooped up. Whether they are a violent illegal, a gang member illegal, they're all illegals. They'll go to a different place if they're just an illegal. They're not going to the torture chamber down there and all of this crap. See, this is the stuff that creates radicals. When you get out there and you manipulate them, you lie about what's really going on, you leave out details, and then you get some crazy radical who hears this crap and they think, man, we got to stop this guy. Look what he's doing. I mean, football to the groin, but somebody's going to come out and address all of this stupidity based on what this dummy is saying and other Democrats.
We're supposed to just take their word for it. And when duly elected members of Congress tried to exercise their constitutional right of oversight at an ICE...
Oh, you mean try to storm ICE, try to push through the gate? The ones that were assaulting police officers and throwing elbows everywhere? Those ones? Huh? For a soundbite? But now they're the victim.
Facility, they get shoved around and threatened with arrest.
Can you explain to...
Well, here we go. Since there's so much controversy surrounding these illegal immigrants and Killer Garcia, I had to go ahead and bring in one of my favorites that I have not covered in a long time, Sebastian Gorka. It's time now to hear from Gorka. So let's see what Dr. Gorka has to say about this illegal immigration stuff. Continue, Gorka.
Was the significance of that designation? We've already seen an escalation with the deportations to El Salvador, but how else might the administration take on these cartels under this designation?
Well, first, let's talk about the justification for the 6 cartels and the 2 gangs being designated as FTOs, foreign terrorist organizations. It's clear, it's really essential that all Americans, our partners, and Mexico understand as well why we did this. For my Newsmax show, before I came back into the White House, I devoted one episode to this problem, and I started with doing the math. And I just calculated how many Americans have died in uniform since the cessation of hostilities in 1945.
Okay.
So every KIA, Marine, Airman, Soldier, Coast Guard, you name it, from Korea to Vietnam to Panama to Grenada, Gulf One, Gulf Two, Afghanistan. In all of those conflicts combined, 103,000 Americans were killed.
That's it?
At the same time, I went to Biden's CDC website and I looked for the data on deaths by fentanyl and illicit drug use smuggled across the border. It was hard to find. You got to dig deep at the Biden CDC website.
Yeah, because they don't want people to know about all those deaths that they're responsible for because they didn't care. They didn't care nothing about how much drugs was coming in. All they cared about was how many illegal immigrants were coming in. They didn't care about how many gangbangers was coming in, how many terrorists were coming in, how many Chinese nationals were coming in. They didn't care about that. You know, how many traffickers were coming in. All they cared was about was how many illegals are coming. And whatever comes with them, it's just, collateral damage, man. We ain't got nothing to do with that. And any negative stats or stories that come about because of our corruption, let's bury that. Let's make people have to go and hunt for that information. Make them have to dig deep to find out what really is going on. So, yeah. So all of those folks who were dying from fentanyl versus all of those people who died in the wars, all combined. So continue. Tell me how many.
But I found it. In the second year of Biden and Harris's open border policies, 110,000 Americans were murdered by illicit drugs smuggled into this country, and in many cases prepared with precursors from China.
Now, that sounds like a group of evil actors who don't care about our country, who is poisoning folks in our country. And I would say they're enemy of our country. When that many Americans are dying from the poison that they're pushing. But I can't blame them when you got people like Milk-ass and Biden who said, search the border. Search. You got to search the border. There you go. And mucus coming out that way are taking it to the cartels. We are making sure that we are, and we're doing nothing. You know those cartel members. Hola, mucus. Senor Mucus. We're watching you on TV. You're killing us, man. You're making us laugh. We're busting our guts. You're telling everybody that the border is secure. You're hilarious, Mucus. Now listen, we got a bunch of illegals coming this week, okay? Make sure that they allow our fentanyl to come in as well. Yeah, they made sure that Mucus knew that we're in business with you, Mucus. We're bringing you what you've been asking for. We're your supplier. Y'all want more illegals? We got you, baby. Now, the only, thing is we also might want to send some fentanyl and do a little trafficking on the side, get a little off the top along with all the money we making on trafficking these folks to y'all. You cool with that? And they were, because they never tried to stop it. So let's continue, Gorka, because see, now this stupid lady who's talking to this very intelligent man is about to get destroyed. And I'm going to sit back and watch it and enjoy it. Here we go.
More Americans were killed in 1 year, thanks to Biden, Harris, and the cartels who facilitated them, than in 75 years of armed conflict. We are at war with the cartels, and that's why President Trump, Stephen Miller, Governor Noem, Tom Homan are doing what they do, because we will not permit this to continue.
Now, that's the moment where she could have got off the exit ramp. I mean, just that case alone should have made her say, I don't want to tangle with this dude. I'm in the ring with a heavyweight. How am I going to overcome those statistics and try to make it seem like, for some reason, though, we need to focus more on the illegal immigrants that come here instead of all of the fentanyl that comes in as a result of bringing in illegal immigrants. But nope, she's not going to learn. She's going to go for it, y'all. She's going to go for it.
In the interest of speeding up deportations, which was a massive campaign promise from President Trump, he's done the border piece of it. Now it's the folks in the country. Do you believe it's okay to skirt due process?
Never happened. Due process has never been skirted. This is another fake news canard.
You hear? Canard. Never happened. This is another fake news canard. It's just that. There you go. Here's the due process argument that she's going to try to ride in, or like they always do. Due process.
The fact that so let me be clear here, okay? Let me be clear.
Get her.
When an organization is designated by the Secretary of State as a foreign terrorist organization, every single stinking member is a terrorist by U.S. law.
Bing! Now that's the first heavyweight blow. Yeah, every stinking is designated a terrorist by U.S. law. Didn't you hear that, man? With that cool accent. Now, you would think right now she'd go back to her corner like, whew, cut me, Mick. Yeah, just that right there. Gave her the cut me, Mick, but she don't want to listen. She's like, get back out there.
There is no need for them to be adjudicated as a terrorist. Also, are you really hissing? What kind of a child are you?
Oh, now he jumped out the ring and went into the audience. Some people in the audience was booing. He's like, hold on for a second. I'm going to finish you off in this. Let me jump out. Went through the ropes. Went out and went to work on the folks in the... You going hissing? Shut your mouth. Let me get back in this ring and finish this Pop-Tart off. So get him, Gorka.
We're trying to save lives and you're hissing. Go back to high school and play spitball with your friends.
Get him, Gorky.
What absolute children.
I've never played spitball before.
You've never used spitballs? Well, maybe not in Ukraine.
No spitballs in Ukraine.
So the fact is, when you have people, I looked at Politico's coverage. Politico used the Maryland father, fake news. Maryland father, twice adjudicated by an immigration judge to be here illegally and to be deported. An individual who's arrested on body cam footage, anyone watching right now can watch him being stopped by local police with 7 illegals in his vehicle and no driving license.
Oh my! She wasn't ready. She didn't think Gorka did his research. He went on, he probably saw this one coming. So let me understand. Yeah, he went on your site and you just want to see how y'all were referring to this whole, Killer Garcia situation. And it apparently, it appears that you guys were using the whole Maryland father narrative too. Maryland father. That's what they were doing? What? And so now, Gorka has to bring out all of these things that make them look so stupid and why they're trying to defend this. So now they were using the Maryland father, but they didn't go online and see the video of him smuggling people. They didn't go online and see his wife talking about how she was getting smacked around by her husband. But they want to go ahead and use the Maryland father.
An individual involved in human trafficking who beat his fiancée. And this is a Maryland father for Politico. You don't need and you don't get the due process if you're a member of a terrorist organization.
Well,
Next,
some
you'll be saying,
judges, including...
Look, there it is. There it is. Now, after those heavy bolos, after he was giving her those clubber lanes, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. After he gave her some of those, what did she do? But she's not getting it, man. I mean, she don't realize right now she can barely see out of either of her eyes. He's giving her nothing but big, fat boxing gloves to the eyes. But here she goes. She's going to fight back, y'all. No, don't stop the fight. I can do it. I can win. But some...
Those appointed by President Trump disagree.
Well, so what? Could they be wrong?
No, absolutely. Not if they're radical liberal judges that are trying to block Trump's agenda. No, any of those judges can never be wrong. If they're judges that want to lock Trump up for nothing and want to go and seize his assets and they're working with the Democrats hand in hand and they're activists, no, they could never be wrong. Some judges disagree. You know what his response was? So what? So what? That's how I feel about it. Even the Supreme Court's acting up in regards to this. Right now, I'm at the point of like, so what? So now Politico done stuck this young girl out there to get massacred. So here she is, but some judges disagree. So now here it comes.
A judge possibly be wrong?
Well, that's why we have the process, and this is likely...
No. You're not listening.
You're not listening. No. You're not listening. So now we got to help her. We got to help her listen.
If you are a terrorist of an FTO, it's not a traffic ticket. You don't go to county court. You're a member of a federally designated terrorist organization. It's really that simple.
Yeah, that simple, but not to her. Not to her. See, all of that due process mess they're trying to use when you are, identified as a terrorist, what you talking about some due process? Yeah, that's you're lucky you're not shipped off to Guantanamo Bay and waterboarded or something. But here she goes. She's still going ahead and trying to defend this and talk about the due process. And there's no evidence of him being a gang member, and he's going to end her whole career.
If you're a wife beater and a human trafficker, goodbye.
Abrego Garcia case aside, in the interest of getting folks that you believe are bad actors.
Belief. So again, why are you saying belief?
Because
let's go back to this. Is 110,000 deaths a year a question of belief?
Absolutely not.
No. Right, see, and they want to say y'all belief. They don't say a fact though. When it comes down to all these illegal immigrants, all the fentanyl, all of the trafficking, those aren't according to y'all beliefs. No, these are facts. And he had to make sure he addressed that. He checked her. Now this is beautiful. He is destroying her. From a psychological standpoint, he just caught that. That's beautiful. Just little words that they try to slide in to sow doubt in their argument. According to your belief, no. Why are you saying belief? Is it or isn't it? So now, she now has to go, oh crap, now I got to admit that it's not just your belief. It's a fact.
Nobody recovers from fentanyl. You know that. When you overdose on fentanyl,
and that is devastated. And I've met many families who have been devastated by it. However, we also have a process in this country for figuring out who the bad actors are.
And we figured it out. It's the 6 cartels and the 2 gangs that have caused 110,000
which is understandable. I think where the key point is
the tricky point is the Democrats don't want to give up all their illegal immigrants. And they willing to keep all of the raggedy ones just to keep the ones that aren't raggedy. They want them all. That's it. That's what the trick of it all. So the trick of it all is we want to make this a muddy process. We want to drag this out and pretend it's a due process issue and a human rights issue that we can't just get rid of these people as quickly as they came in. See, come in quick, but can't get bounced out quickly. So now Gorka's going to do what Gorka does. Knock her out.
Is the evidence, which due process usually helps provide,
why
of whether
as if
or
these
not.
Are people
Because
US
we don't know. Because we due process.
So you're defending members of FTOs.
I'm not defending anybody.
You are. No, what you're doing right now is you're sending designated terrorists should have the right of somebody who's in a contractual dispute.
I think that transparency in why that designation is given to a certain person is important.
So now you see, this is now understand, guys. She knows right now he's talking about the ones that have already committed crimes or are gang members and stuff like that. But she wants proof that these people have committed crimes and are in gangs and stuff. We need to know that before y'all send them out. Or could it be that we just need to know honestly that they are illegal immigrants? That right there is pretty simple. A legal immigrant versus a legal immigrant. But yeah, she wants us to go ahead and catch every single one of them and be transparent to the public. And before we go ahead and ship off dudes with tattoos all over their whole body and stuff like that, before we do that, we got to prove to the Democrats. We got to prove to these stupid liberals and political that they really did it. And we got to take time and tax dollars, even though we got all kind of intel that already knows these people are involved in shenanigans. But just so you guys know, we're not sending these folks away without due process. That's what we got to do. We got to hold a trial for all of them. Bring in witnesses, a jury, and all of that stupid stuff. Only to say, now, are you satisfied? Okay, you get it? That guy right there is an MS-13 gang member. Now, we done spent, $7 million trying to prosecute them and show y'all just this, only to come to this conclusion that we knew up front, and now we're going to ship him out after we waste all that money. This is how dumb these folks are when it comes to this. But Gorka, he's trying to let her off the hook, but she won't. She's just jumping back on the hook.
It's very easy what the transparency is. It's like a member of Al-Qaeda. If you're a member of Al-Qaeda, you're a terrorist.
How do you know if that they're members of these gangs? What I'm saying
is the tattoos MS-13 on their knuckles doesn't help it. Do you have tattoos of Al-Qaeda?
The tattoo did not say MS-13. I don't.
Oh, there we go. Now, this is where she's about to go ahead and end her career. Right there. She went with those tattoos on this that don't say MS-13. Now, she's belittling our intelligence. She's belittling Gorka's intelligence. She's using that liberal talking point to try to defend that obvious MS-13 gang member. And boy, now he's taking the gloves off. First, he was just beating her with the boxing gloves on. Now he's like, you know what, forget this. Let me take these gloves off because you're not getting it.
I want to get into
Oh, of course it does. It's just accidents. So the four symbols represent the letters MS. See, this is why Politico is a joke. This is why you are gutter press and fake news. That those four symbols that just happen to comport with the letters MS and the numbers 13 don't, in this case, represent MS-13. You're sitting here live defending a member of MS-13. That's why I regret coming here. Because this isn't journalism. This is protecting those who hate America. Oh, shame on you. We are saving lives.
Wait, time out. Hold on for a second. All right, how I look? You're not looking good, kid. Huh? Where you at? I'm over here. Right over here. I can't see nothing. Right now, teeth are missing. Eyeballs are swollen. And I'm saying, why don't you just quit? Why don't you just quit? See, you go ahead and present that stupidity. Trying to pretend that, we got to now go ahead and prove that those were the markings that represented MS-13. We don't know that. All the law enforcement to say, yep, those are MS-13 markings. Yep. But no, that's not good enough for these stupid people. They want more due process than that. Yeah, the fact that he beat his wife, he got those on his knuckles, he was pulled over by the police, and he had a verdict of being deported. But all of this stuff means nothing to these people. They're still, but you got to go further. We need more evidence. We need more proof. We need to drag this process out even longer so we can save them all. Keep them here.
Sir.
Saving Maryland. How about Maryland fathers compared to Maryland mothers? Oh, like Rachel Marin, mother of 5, raped and murdered and thrown in a ditch. How about Jocelyn Nungare, age 12, raped a mile from her home and thrown in a ditch? It's strange that Politico doesn't do articles about her, that mother, or that 12-year-old girl. Why is that? Why is the MS-13 guy with the knuckle tattoos more important in terms of due process than the lives of 12-year-old girls brutally raped?
It's Gorka. That's all she's getting right now. He's tenderizing her from head to toe. All the way down to the feet. She's catching blows from the dome all the way down to her feet. Why is it that you guys put more attention on? He's giving it to her, man. Boy, get out of there, kid. Get out of there. Nope, she's up against the ropes, covering her vitals right now while he's teeing off on her.
It's weird that the priorities shift to defending the member of an FTO, but not the children and the women. Dan Crenshaw told me a story once of a 16-year-old girl who was smuggled across this border. The parents paid $5,000 for her to live in America, the land of milk and honey. She ended up locked in a room in New York, raped by more than a dozen men every day for 18 months until she escaped.
Yep, that's the compassion of the Biden administration and all of them. See, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, incentivize these people from other countries to send their kids to the country by themselves with the cartel. Trust the cartel would take good care of them. And I guess they did by doing this to this kid. You think Mucus and all them stop for 1 second to think about all of the carnage that comes from these desperate people that say this is our big chance and we're willing to risk the lives and the safety of our kids and ourselves and all of that stuff just to get to America. You think they care about that? Nope. Get them here by any means necessary. Yeah, regardless of how many are lost in the journey, regardless of how many of those kids are used to be trafficked and used to be just taken back and forth so they can just come across with some other random person and all of this stuff. Forget the kids that have been lost. We don't even know where they are. Forget all of that mess. Yeah, they were willing to overlook that. All of the fentanyl that kills Americans. These were the worst people that I have seen in government since I've been alive. And they need to be put in jail. Every one of these people that Gorka's talking about that were victims of these illegal immigrant gang members who came across and the cartel members, really, Mucus, Biden, and the rest of anybody in the Democrat Party had anything to do with enabling that, all should be punished. All should be punished because they are just as guilty, if not more so, than the folks who did these horrific acts.
She went to Dan Crenshaw's office, and I'm no friend of Dan Crenshaw's, okay? He's still got TDS.
He does.
And that girl said to him, please close the border so another girl doesn't have to be raped by 12 strange men every day for 18 months. It's strange that Politico doesn't cover those stories. Could you tell me why?
Oh, could you tell me why? Now let's hear her because she was more focused on the process and Trump and all of that stuff and why they just sending people away.
We have covered.
No, you haven't.
That's her response. You see that ugly, lazy, weak, limp over hand left? We have covered. She threw that lazy left out there. Man, Gorka blocked that so quick. No, you haven't. Man, I can't believe we have covered it.
You have not covered those stories. I'd like to see the Jocelyn Nungare, Rachel Marin stories in comparison to the Russia collusion garbage. I mean, let's be honest.
Let's move on.
Look, let's move on. She's tapping out. She right now is tapping out. Let's move on. Because he knows too much. Yeah, here I am lying about our political. I'm lying about our newspaper or our whatever that we have covered. I like to see it. Show me. You think they really do? You think they got that? And then he says, yeah, show me the coverage of these things compared to the fake line Russia collusion lie. So now she wants out, yo. She's trying to get out that ring, but it's too late. It's too late. Grab her by those ankles and drag her nasty tail right back into the center of the ring. Don't let her out. She wanted in, so now she got to go ahead and face the music.
Agenda.
How are you figuring out who is the criminal element versus who are the people here?
The way we've done it since the inception of law enforcement. That's how we're going to do it. Since the intelligence community was founded by the National Security Act of 1947.
Well, I think we are living in an unprecedented moment in terms of the amount of people who are here, right?
At the unprecedented moment in terms of the amount of people that are here. See, the fact that you had to bring that up is a problem. That should have been, this is an unprecedented moment because these people shouldn't be here. How did they get here? Who brought them here? Who gave them the whistle to come? That's the problem. And yet you're up here saying the solution to that is giving all of these folks either some type of amnesty, some type of citizenship, some type of, due process. That's ridiculous. So she identifies we got all these people here. And I guess what her solution is process each and every one of them to find out, okay, well, are you a bad immigrant or a good immigrant? The fact that you're an immigrant illegally here doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter because you got a right to be here. Forget that part. We just want to make sure you're not a troublemaker. And if you're not, you'll stay. These folks, man, are the pits.
Been saying that there are record numbers. So
I have been saying?
Yeah.
You disagree with that?
Oh, he got her again. You have been saying that there's been record numbers. I've been saying you disagree with this. So now she got to go ahead and tap out.
You've been emphasizing that there are record numbers. So I am asking, you can't just do it the way it's always been done. You guys don't like the way that that's all.
No, the way it should be done. Well, not the way it was done in the last 4 years. We actually treat these people as illegals.
Bam! Yeah, the way it should be done. Just like the way that border should have been closed. And look what Trump did. Yeah, he went ahead and treated the border like it was an invasion. And now it's shut down. Yeah, and the way that all of these illegal immigrants should be treated should be all rounded up and taken back home. You know, the bad ones sent down to El Salvador and the other ones send them straight back to wherever they went. But now, according to this lady, that process and this and that, yeah, it starts by identifying the problem correctly. If you go into the doctor, you got a broken leg and they're talking about you got arthritis. Well, no. You don't see this bone sticking through my shin? Oh, I did an arthritis test right there. It looks like yellow bursitis in your shoulder. You ever played like a, racquetball or something? It looks like maybe And you're going, how about you deal with the obvious problem right here? You're not identifying this for what it is. Dang on it. So yeah, that starts right there with, hey, these folks are illegal. Let's treat them like they are.
Not migrants. You break the law when you try today. Just try going to Mexico illegally.
Yeah, why isn't it that easy for us to go to other countries? Why we got to be the stupid ones? And we got stupid folks over here advocating for stupid policies, like this lady. Yeah, why isn't she accusing Mexico of being xenophobic because they just won't allow all of us Americans to just come across their border anytime we want? Why aren't they getting accused of not having due process when any of us Americans go over there and we're dealt with appropriately and sent back, or if worse, sent to jail in Mexico? But they're not saying that, well, these people should have their borders open for us too. They should be giving us due process when we go over to there. It don't work that way. We're the only ones that got dummies over here talking about coming to our country illegally, and then we'll drag it out talking about we're giving you some due process.
People who came here illegally deserve due process.
As I told you, the priority right now is the worst of the worst. The members of the 6+2, the people who have proven criminal records, the people like Jocelyn Nungare's rapist and murderer, who were paroled by the Biden administration, who were paroled by the government in New York.
He's giving her that last minute Popeye uppercut. Yeah, I can't stand anymore. So now here he is. He's trying to go ahead and finish the fight because she's not getting it. As I told you before. You see that? So now he had to go ahead and knock her straight out the ring. These people that you're advocating for, many of these gangbangers were paroled by the Biden administration. That's what makes this so insidious. All of these cases of Americans being done very badly by illegal immigrants, almost every single one of them were, caught and released for some reason, multiple times often, and still end up doing something horrific. Unbelievable. And yet you get these dummies that are trying to protect the masses, the rest of them. We want to keep all the illegals here because if we just start shipping them out, even if they're the bad ones, it might trickle down to the ones that we think should be here. Because they're picking our fruit and they're washing our toilets and stuff like that. Democrats, we need that. We need that. We need the cheap labor. We need that. Like dummies, man. So anyway, God bless y'all. God bless America. I'm so glad that Gorka had to go ahead and put that young whippersnapper in her place. And we need many, many, many more folks to do that to these raggedy behind politicians, these Democrats who are out there fighting for all these illegal immigrants, or the stupid folks in the media that are fighting for them. We need more folks like Gorka. I wish he'd go on a tour wreaking havoc on all these networks that are sitting back arguing about how we should handle the illegal immigration deportation problem and just start ripping them a new one. Anyway, so God bless y'all. I will be back tomorrow most likely. And I'm going to start getting ready to hit work. It's going to be a late one. I'm training now to be a lead operator, y'all. There it is. I'm trying to figure out the number system and all of that crap. So I gotta be focused. Can't go in just not paying attention now. What do I gotta do? Okay, there we go. It's one of those things now. I'm like, wait, that's 3 + 5. Wait, I knew I should have paid attention in math class. Darn it. So anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. If you want to support the channel through my Cash App or PayPal link, you can. The links are below each video. And check out Kevin's Corner store. Other than that, we'll see y'all next time in Kev's Corner. God bless. Yeah. Oh, text MAGA to that number, please. Now let's get out of here.
This is awesome.
Yeah. Pick it.